Hello and welcome to Tommy Talks TV, the place to be to build great love relationships. I'd like to start by saying a very big thank you. Thank you for all your likes and your shares and your comments on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. I really appreciate you because you're helping us spread the message further, faster. So thank you very much indeed. Now today I'm going to be talking about a very touching subject. I'm going to be talking about how to regain your spouse's trust. Now this message is for you if in one way or the other you failed your spouse, and because of that they don't trust you any longer. Maybe you've been unfaithful to them in one way or the other. There's such a broad spectrum of ways in which you could have failed your spouse and made them no longer trust you, and now you're looking to regain their trust, and that's what I want to address today. Now this message is not for you if you're serially unfaithful. So essentially what I mean is, you're constantly unfaithful, you want to just do your own thing and you're not actually prepared to change. It's only for you if you're prepared to change. And let me also say that this message is not a magic formula. It's not a silver bullet. So it takes a while to regain someone's trust. But if you're prepared to follow through with these things that I'm sharing with you today, then I trust God with you that you'll be able to regain your spouse's trust. So how do you go about regaining your spouse's trust if you've hurt them? Now, the first thing that you've got to recognize is that you must recognize how much hurt you have caused your spouse. Now, I found a lot of times, particularly, when, people feel, well, my spouse is a Christian, so, they ought to forgive me, and all that. They do not take time to recognize just how much hurt they have created for their spouse. You see, and one of the keys to your spouse being able to heal is for you to first of all acknowledge just how much you have hurt them. Because if you try to minimize another person's emotions or the way they feel about what they've been through and all that, then you're making it very difficult for them to recover. So for you to simply say to them, well, you should forgive because you're a Christian, and you want them to quickly return to normal and so that everything goes back to business as usual, and you stop feeling guilty, well, that is not a formula to regain someone's trust. So first of all, you must be prepared to recognize just how much hurt you have caused to your spouse if you want them to begin to heal. Now, the second thing that is also very crucial is that you must be prepared to take responsibility for your failure. So if you've done something one way or the other, you've hurt your spouse or you've been unfaithful to them, the worst thing that you can possibly do is to blame your spouse or to blame somebody else for your failure. So the first indication that you're actually prepared to repent and to change is that you've accepted responsibility for what you have done. So there's no point saying to your spouse, where you have maybe 40% fault in this, or you have 20% fault in this, or you're trying to pin the fault somewhere else. Take absolute responsibility for what you have done. That's a sign that you're actually prepared to make a change. So that's the second thing that is really very crucial. You must take responsibility for what you've done so that you can actually begin to make changes in what you've done. And then the third thing, which is also very important, is that you must be prepared to be accountable. Because you must realize that while your spouse owes you forgiveness, they don't owe you trust. Trust is built when you prove yourself to be trustworthy. So you must be prepared to begin to prove yourself to be trustworthy to your spouse. And I'll give you a very practical example. If, for instance, you've been unfaithful to your spouse, and then, now you want them to forgive you, and they've said they will forgive, and they're actually working through the process, and you're holding on to your phone. They can't look at your phone, they can't look at your laptop, they can't look at your computer, and you expect them to trust. The truth of the matter is this: you're not actually yet ready to build trust or rebuild trust in your marriage. So you must be prepared to be accountable. Be prepared for your spouse to actually hold you accountable. Be prepared to say exactly where you are, at every point in time. Be prepared to actually do, everything that you need to do, and actually bend over backwards to prove to your spouse that you have changed. That's another way that you can regain your spouse's trust. The reality is this: it's usually a very long journey to get from the place where, previously you were trusted back to that place of trust again. So while your spouse may forgive you automatically, it doesn't mean that they will automatically begin to trust you again. But with time, and if you're committed to it, and you're prayerful and you trust God about it, I want to trust God with you that you'll be able to rebuild your marriage and it will become a testimony to other people. Well, I hope this has helped you. If this has helped you, then please leave me a message on Facebook or Twitter. And if you've got a question you would like me to answer, then head on over to tommytalks.com/ask and I'll answer your question next time. See you next time. Bye-bye.